Please sit back, relax, and enjoy Summer Shakespeare.
Aeschylus, my lord, of government, the properties to unfold, would seem in me to affect speech and discourse, since I have put to know that your own science exceeds in that the list of all advice my strength can give you. Then no more remains but that to your sufficiency, as your worth is able, and let them work. The nature of our people, our city's institutions, and the terms for common justice, you're as pregnant in as art and practice hath enriched any that we remember. There is our commission, from which we would not have you warp. Call hither, I say, bid come before us Angelo. What figure of us think you he will bear? For you must know we have with special soul elected him our absence to supply, lent him our terror, dressed him with our love, and given his deputation all the organs of our own power. What think you of it?
If any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honor, it is Lord Angelo.
Look where he comes.
Always obedient to your grace's will. I come to know your pleasure.
Angelo, there is a kind of character in thy life that, to the observer, doth thy history fully unfold. Thyself and thy belongings are not thine own so proper as to waste thyself upon thy virtues, they on thee. Heaven doth with us, as we, with torches do, not light them for themselves. For if our virtues did not go forth of us, 'twere all alike as if we had them not. Spirits are not finely touched, but to fine issues. Nor nature never lends the smallest scruple of her excellence, but like a thrifty goddess, she determines herself the glory of a creditor, both thanks and use. But I do bend my speech that one can my part in him advertise. Hold therefore, Angelo, in our remove, be thou at full ourself. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. Old Aeschylus, though first in question, is thy secondary. Take thy commission.
Now, good my lord, let there be some more test made of my metal before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it.
No more evasion. We have with a leavened and prepared choice proceeded to you. Therefore take your honor. Our haste from hence is of so quick condition, and it prefers itself and leaves unquestioned matters of needful value. We shall write to you, of time of our concerning shall importune how it goes with us. And do look what doth befall you here. So fare you well. To the hopeful execution I do leave you of your commissions.
Yet give leave, my lord, that we may bring you something on the way.
My haste may not admit it, nor need you on mine honor have to do with any scruple. Your scope is as mine own, so to enforce or qualify the law as to your soul seems good. Give me your hand. I'll privily away. I love the people, but do not like to stage me to their eyes. Though it do well, I do not relish well their loud applause and Abe's vehemence, nor do I think the man of safe discretion that does affect it. Once more, fare you well.
The heavens give safety to your purposes.
Lead forth and bring you back in happiness.
I thank you. Fare you well.
I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you. It concerns me to look into the bottom of my place. A power I have, but of what strength and nature I am not yet instructed.
'Tis so with me. Let us withdraw together. We may soon our satisfaction have touching that point.
I'll wait upon your honor.
The other dukes come not to composition with the king of Hungary, why then all the dukes fall upon the king.
Heaven grant us his peace, but not the king of Hungary.
Amen.
Thou concludes like the sanctimonious pirate that went to sea with the 10 commandments, but scraped one out of the table.
Thou shalt not steal?
Aye, that he raised.
Why, 'twas a commandment to command the captain and all the rest of their functions. They put forth to steal. There's not a soldier of us all in the Thanksgiving before meat do relish in the petition while that prays for peace.
I never heard any soldier dislike it.
I believe thee, for I think thou never wast where grace was said.
No, a dozen times at least.
What's in meter?
In any proportion or in any language.
I think, or in any religion.
Aye, why not? Grace is grace, despite of all controversy. As for example, thou thyself art a wicked villain, despite of all grace.
Well, there went but a pair of shears between us.
As there may between the list and the velvet. Thou art the list.
And thou the velvet. Thou art good velvet. Thou art a three-piled piece. I warn thee, I had a leap be a list of an English kersey that be piled, that thou art pilled for a French velvet. Do I speak feelingly now?
I think thou dost, and with most painful filling of thy speech. I will out of thine own confession learn to begin thy health, but whilst I live, forget to drink after thee.
I think I've done myself wrong, have I not?
Yes, now thou hast, whether thou art tainted or free.
Behold, behold, where man of mitigation comes. I have purchased as many diseases under her roof as come
To
to.
what, I pray?
Judge.
To $3,000 a year.
Aye, and more.
A French crown more.
Thou art as always figuring diseases in me, but thou art as full of error. I am sound.
Nay, not as one would say healthy, but so sound as things that are hollow. Thy bones are hollow, and piety has made a feast of thee.
How now? Which of your hips has the most profound sciatica?
Well, well, there's one yonder arrested and carried to prison. Was worth 5,000 of you all.
Who's that, I prithee?
Marry, sir, that's Claudio, Senor Claudio.
Claudio to prison? 'Tis not so.
Nay, but I know 'tis so. I saw him arrested, saw him carried away, and which is more within these 3 days, his head to be chopped off.
But after all this fooling, I would not have it so. Art thou sure of this?
I am too sure of it, and it is forgetting Madame Julietta with child.
Believe me, this may be. He promised to meet me 2 hours since, and he was ever precise in promise-keeping.
Besides, you know, it draws something near to the speech we had, to such a purpose.
But most of all, agreeing with the proclamation.
Away! Let's go learn the truth of it.
Thus, what with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with the poverty, I am custom shrunk. How now, what's the news with you?
Yonder man is carried to prison.
Well, what has he done?
A woman.
But what's his offense?
Groping for trouts in a peculiar river.
Well, what, is there a maid with child by him?
No, but there's a woman with maid by him. You've not heard the proclamation, have you?
What proclamation, man?
All houses in the suburbs of Vienna must be plucked down.
And what shall become of those in this city?
They shall stand for seed. They had gone down too, but that a wise burgher put in for them.
But shall all our houses of resort in the suburbs be pulled down?
To the ground, mistress.
Why, here's a change indeed in the Commonwealth. What shall become of me?
Come, fear you not. Good counselors lack no clients. Though you change your place, you need not change your trade. I'll be your tapster still. Courage. There will be pity taken on you. You that have worn your eyes almost out in the service, you will be considered.
What's due here, Thomas Tapster? Let's withdraw.
Here comes Senor Claudio, led by the provost of prison. There's not a truth.
Fellow, why dost thou show me thus to the world? Bear me to prison, where I am committed.
I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo by special charge.
Thus can the demigod, authority, make us pay down for our offense by weight. The words of heaven, on whom it will, on whom it will not, so, yet still 'tis just.
How now, Claudio, whence comes this restraint?
From too much liberty, my Lucio. Liberty, as surfeit, is the father of much fast. So every scope by the immoderate use turns to restraint. Our natures do pursue, like rats that raven down their proper bane, a thirsty evil. And when we drink, we die.
If I could speak wise under an arrest, I would sin for certain of my creditors. And yet, to say the truth, I had as lief had the foppery of freedom as the morality of imprisonment. What's thy offense, Claudio?
What but to speak of would offend again.
What, this murder?
No!
Lechery.
Call it so.
Away, sir. You must go.
One word, good friend. Lucio, a word with you.
100 if they'll do you any good. Is lechery so looked after?
Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract, I got possession of Julietta's bed. You know the lady. She is fast my wife, save that we do the denunciation lack of outward order. This we came not to only for propagation of a dower, remaining in the coffer of her friends, from whom we thought it meet to hide our love till time had made them for us. But it chances the stealth of our most mutual entertainment with character too gross is writ on Juliet.
With child, perhaps.
Unhappily even so. The new deputy now for the Duke, whether it be the fault and glimpse of newness, or whether that the body public be a horse whereon the government doth ride, who, newly in the sea, that it may know he can command, lets it straight feel the spur. Whether the tyranny be in his place or in his eminence that fills it up, I stagger in. But this new governor awakes me all the enrolled penalties, which have, like unscoured armor, hung by the wall so long that 19 zodiacs have gone round, and none of them been worn. And for a name now puts the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me. Surely for a name.
I warrant it is. And thy head stands so tickled on thy shoulders that a milkmaid, if she be in love, may sigh it off. Send after the Duke and appeal to him.
I have done so, but he's not to be found. I pray thee, Lucio, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the cloister enter, and there receive her approbation. Acquaint her with the danger of my state. Implore her in my voice that she make friends to the strict deputy. Bid herself assay him. I have great hope in that, for in her youth there is a prone and speechless dialect such as move men. And beside, she hath prosperous art when she will play with reason and discourse, and well she can persuade.
I pray she may, as well for the encouragement of the like, which else would stand in the grievous imposition, as for the enjoying of thy life, who I would be sorry should thus be foolishly lost in the game of tic-tac. I'll to her.
Thank you, good friend Lucio.
Within 2 hours.
Come, officer. Away.
No, Holy Father, throw away that thought. Believe not that the dribbling dart of love can pierce a complete bosom. Why I desire thee to give me secret harbor hath a purpose more grave and wrinkled than the aims and ends of burning youth.
May your grace speak of it.
My holy sir, none better knows than you how I have ever loved the life removed, and held an idle price to haunt assemblies where youth and cost and witless bravery keeps. I have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence, my absolute power and place here in Vienna, and he supposes me have traveled to Poland. So I have strewed it in the common ear, and so it is received. Now, pious sir, you will demand of me why I do this?
Gladly, my lord.
We have strict statutes and most biting laws, the needful bits and curbs to headstrong jades, which for this 14 years we have let slip, even like an o'ergrown lion in a cave that goes not out to prey. Now, as fond fathers, having bound up the threatening twigs of birch to stick it in their children's sight for terror, not to use, in time the rod becomes more mocked than feared. So to our decrees, dead to infliction, to themselves are dead. And liberty plucks justice by the nose, the baby beats the nurse, and quite our court goes all decorum.
It rested in your grace to unloose this tide of justice, when you pleased. And it in you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo.
I do fear, too dreadful, since 'twas my fault to give the people scope. 'Twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them for what I bid them do. For we bid this be done, when evil deeds have their permissive pass, and not the punishment. Therefore, indeed, my father, I have on Angelo imposed the office, who may in the ambush of my name strike home, yet in my nature never in the fight to do and slander. And to behold his sway I will, as 'twere a brother of your order, visit both prince and people. Therefore, I prithee, supply me with the habit, and instruct me how I may formally in person bear like a true friar. More for this action at our more leisure shall I render you. Only this one. Lord Angelo is precise, stands at a guard with envy, scarce confesses that his blood flows, or that his appetite is more to bread than stone. And shall we see if power change purpose, what our seamers be?
And have you nuns no farther privileges?
Are not these large enough?
Yes, truly. I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisterhood, the votarists of St. Clair.
Oh! Peace be in this place!
Who's that which calls?
It is a man's voice. Gentle Isabella, turn you the key and know his business of him. You may, I may not. You are yet unsworn. Once you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the prioress. Then, if you speak, you must not show your face, or if you show your face, you must not speak. He calls again. I pray you, answer him.
Hello!
Peace and prosperity. Who is that calls?
Hail virgin, if you be, as those cheek roses proclaim me on the less. Can you so stead me as bring me to the sight of Isabella, a novice of this place, and a fair sister to her unhappy brother Claudio?
Why her unhappy brother? Let me ask, the rather, for I now must make you know I am that Isabella, and his sister.
Gentle and fair. Your brother kindly greets you. Not to be weary with you, he's in prison.
Well, me for what?
For that which, if myself might be his judge, he should receive his thanks and punishment. He hath got friend with child.
Sir, make me not your story.
'Tis true. I would not, though 'tis my familiar sin, with maids to seem the lapwing, and to jest tongue far from heart, play with all virgins so. I hold thee as a thing enskied and sainted by your renouncement, an immortal spirit, and to be talked with in sincerity as with a saint.
You do blaspheme the good in mocking me.
Do not believe it. Fewness in truth is thus. Your brother and his lover have embraced, as those that feed grow full, as blossoming times that from the seedness the bare fallow brings to teeming poison, so her plenteous womb has expressed his full tilt in husbandry.
Someone with a child, like my cousin Juliet?
Is she your cousin?
Adoptively, as schoolmates change their names by they know apt affection.
She it is.
Oh, let him marry her.
This is the point. The Duke is very strangely gone from hence. Bore many gentlemen, myself being one, and hand in hope of action. But we do learn by those that know the very nerves of state, his giving outward an infinite distance from his true mid design. Upon his place, and with full line of authority, governs Lord Angelo, a man whose blood is very snow-raw, and one who never feels the wanton sting, but doth rebate and blunt his natural edge, which prophets of the mind study and fast. He, to give fear to use and liberty, which else have stand under grievous imposition. For your brother's life falls into forfeit. He arrests him on it, and follows close the rigor of the statute to make him an example. All hope is gone unless you have the grace by your fair prayer to soften Angelo. And that's my pith of business twixt you and your poor brother.
Doth he so seek his life?
Has censured him already. And as I hear, the provost hath a warrant for his execution.
Alas, what poor ability is in me to do him good?
Say the power you have.
My power? Alas, I doubt.
Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Go to Lord Angelo, and let him learn to know when maidens sue, men give like gods. But when they weep and kneel, all their petitions are as freely theirs as they themselves withhold them.
I'll see what I can do.
But speedily.
I will about it straight, no longer staying but to give the mother notice of my affair. I humbly thank you. Commend me to my brother. Soon at night I'll send him stern word of my success.
I'll take my leave of you.
Good sir. Adieu.
We must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey, and let it keep one shape to custom make it their perch, and not their terror.
Aye, but yet let's be keen, and rather cut a little, than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this poor gentleman, whom I would say, and a most noble father. Let but your honor know, whom I believe to be most great in virtue, than the working of your own affections, had time cohere a place, or place with wishing, or that the resolute acting of your blood could have attained the effect of your own purpose, whether you had not, sometime in your life, erred in this point, which now you censure him, and pull the law upon you.
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I not deny the jury passing on the prisoner's life. May in the sworn 12 have a thief, or two, guiltier than him they try. What's open made to justice, that justice seizes. What know the laws, thieves do pass on thieves. 'Tis very pregnant, the jewel we find, we stoop and take it because we see it. But what we do not see, we tread upon and never think of it. You may not so extenuate the prisoner's offense, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me, when I that censure him do so offend, let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial. Sir, he must die.
Be it the wisdom will.
Where is the provost?
Here, if you'd like, Your Honor.
See that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow morning. Bring him his confessor, let him be prepared, for that is the utmost of his pilgrimage.
Well, heaven forgive him, and forgive us all. Some rise by sin, and some by virtue fall. Some run from breaks of ice and answer none, and some condemn for a fault alone.
Come, bring them away. If these be good people in a commonweal that do nothing but use their abuses in common houses, I know no law. Bring them away.
Now, sir, what's your name and what's the matter?
And to please your honor, I am the poor Duke's constable, and my name is Elbow. I do lead upon justice, sir, and do bring in here before your good honor 2 notorious benefactors.
Benefactors? Well, what benefactors are they? Are they not malefactors?
If it please your honor, I know not well what they are, but precise villains they are, that I am sure of, and void all profanation in the world that good Christians ought to have.
Well, this comes off well. He's a wise officer.
Go to. What quality are they of? Elbow is your name. Why dost thou not speak, Elbow?
He cannot, sir. He's out, Elbow.
What are you, sir?
He, sir, a taxter, sir, a parcel bard, one that serves a bad woman, whose house, sir, was, as they say, plucked down in the suburbs, but now she professes a hot house, which I think is a very ill house, too.
How know you that?
Ah, my wife, sir, whom I detest before heaven and your honor.
How? Thy wife?
I, sir, whom I thank heaven is an honest woman.
Dost thou detest her, therefore?
I say, sir, I will detest myself also, as well as she, that this house, if it be not a bard's house, it is pity of her life, for it is a naughty house.
How dost thou know that, constable?
My wife, who, if she had been a woman caught up in the given, might have been accused in, well, fornication, adultery, and all uncleanliness there.
By the woman's means.
Aye, sir, by Mistress Obadon's means, but as she spit in his face, so she defied him.
Sir, if it please you, this is not so.
Oh, prove it before these varlets here, thou honorable man, prove it.
You hear how he is placed?
Sir, she came in great with child and longing, saving your honor's reverence, for stewed prunes. Sir, we had but 2 in the house, which at that very distant time stood, as it were, in a fruit dish. A dish of some 3 pence. Your honors have seen such dishes. They are not china dishes, but very good dishes.
Go to. No matter for the dish, sir.
No, indeed, sir. Not of a pin. You are therein in the right, but to the point. As I say, this Mistress Elbow being, as I say, with child, and being great-bellied and longing, as I said, for prunes, and having but 2 in the dish, as I said, Master Froth here, this very man having eaten the rest, as I said, and as I say, paying for them very honestly, for as you know, Master Froth, I could not give you 3 pence a day.
No, indeed.
Very well. You being then, if you be remembered, cracking the stones of the foresaid prunes.
Aye, so I did indeed.
Why, very well. I telling you then, if you be remembered, that such a one and such a one were past cure of the thing you ought of, unless they kept a very good diet, as I told you.
All this is true.
Why, very well.
Come, sir. You're a tedious fool. To the purpose. What was done to Elbo's wife? If you have cause to complain, come to me. What was done to her?
Sir, your honor cannot come to that yet.
No, sir, nor me not.
Sir, but you shall come to it, by your honor's leave. And I beseech you, look into Master Froth here, a man of 80 counting years, whose father died at Talamus. Was not at Talamus, Master Froth.
All Paul and Eve.
Why, very well then. I hope here be truths. He, sir, sitting, as I say, in a lower chair, sir. 'Twas in the bunch of grapes, where indeed you have the delight to sit, have you not?
I have so, because it is an open room,
appear be truths.
This will last out a night in Russia, where nights are longest there. I'll take my leave, leaving you to the hearing of the cause, hoping you'll find good cause to whip them all.
I think no less, but more of your lordship. Come, sir. What was done to Elbo's wife once more?
Once, sir? There was nothing done to her once.
I beseech you, sir, ask him what this man did to my wife.
I beseech your honor, ask me.
Well, what did this gentleman do her?
I beseech you, sir, look into this gentleman's face. Good Master Frost, look upon his honor, 'tis for a good purpose. Doth your honor mark his face?
Why do so?
Nay, I beseech you, mark it well.
Aye, sir, very well.
Doth your honor see any harm in his face?
Why? No.
I'll be supposed upon the book, his face is the worst thing about him. Good then. If his face be the worst thing about him, how can Master Frost do the constable's wife any harm? I would know that, your honor.
He's in the right, constable. What say you to it?
First, and it's like you, the house is a respected house. Next, this is a respected fellow, and his woman, a respected mistress.
By this hand, sir, his wife is a more respected person than any of us all.
Varlet, thou liest, wicked varlet. The time is yet to come that she was ever respected with man, woman, or child.
Sir, she was respected with him before he married with her.
The wiser here, justice or iniquity. Is this true?
King, oh thou varlet, oh thou wicked Hannibal. I respected with her before I was married to her. If ever I respected with her, or she with me. Let not your worship think me the poor duke's officer. To prove this, that wicked Hannibal, I'll have mine action of better here on thee.
Took you a box in the ear, you might have your action of slander, too.
Marry, I thank your good worship for it. What is your worship's pleasure I shall do with this wicked king?
Truly, officer, because he has some offenses in him that thou couldst discover if thou wouldst. Let him continue in his course till thou knowest what they are.
I thank your worship for it. Thou seest, thou wicked varlet, now what's come upon thee. Thou ought to continue now, thou varlet. Thou ought to continue.
Where are you born, friend?
Here in Vienna, sir.
Are you a 4-score-pound in the ear?
Yes, and please you, sir.
Sir, what trade are you of, sir?
A tapster, a poor widow's tapster.
Your mistress's name?
Mistress Overdone.
Have you any more than one husband?
9, sir. Overdone by the last.
Ah! Come hither, Master Frost. Master Frost, I will not have you acquainted with tapsters. They will draw you, Master Frost, and you will hang them. If you're gone, let me hear no more from you.
I beg your worship. For my own part, I never come into any room in that house that I am drawn in.
Well, no more, Master Frost. Very well. Come hither, Master Tapster. What's your name, Master Tapster?
Pompey.
What else?
Bum, sir.
Draw. And your bum is the greatest thing about you. So that in the beastliest sense, you are Pompey the Great. Pompey, you are partly a bard, Pompey, howsoever you call it, being a tapster. Are you not? Come. Tell me true. It shall be the better for you.
Truly, sir, I'm a poor fellow that would live.
How would you live, Pompey? By being a bard? Anything in the trade, Pompey, is a lawful trade.
If the law would allow it, sir.
The law will not allow it, nor shall not be allowed in Vienna.
Does your worship mean to geld and slay all the youth of the city?
No, Pompey.
Truly, sir, in my poor opinion, they will do it then. If your worship will take order for the drabs and the knaves, you need not fear the balls.
A pretty order of beginnings is but heading and hanging.
If you hadn't hanged all that offend that way but for 10 years together, you'll be glad to give out a commission for more heads. If this law holds in Vienna 10 years, I'll rip the fairest house in it after 3 pence a penny. If your worship lives to see this come to pass, say Pompey told you so.
Thank you, good Pompey, and I requite your prophecy. Hark! Let me not hear you before we begin upon any complaint whatsoever. No, not for dwelling where you do. If I do, Pompey, I shall beat you to your tent shrewd Caesar to you. In plain dealing, Pompey, I shall have you whipped. So for this time, Pompey, fare you well.
I thank your worship for your good counsel. But I shall follow into the flesh and fortune shall better determine. With me? No, no. Let Carman whip his shade. The valiant heart not whipped out of his trade.
Come hither, me, Master Elmo. Come hither, me, Master Constable. How long have you been in this place of constable?
7 years and a half, sir.
I thought by your readiness in the office you continued in some time. You say 7 years together.
And a half, sir.
Alas, it has been great pains to you. Are there not men in your ward sufficient to serve?
Faith, sir, few have any wit in such matters. As they are chosen, they are glad to choose me for them. I do it for some piece of money, and I'll go through with all.
Look, you bring me the names of some 6 or 7, the most sufficient of your parish.
Okay, to your worship's house.
To my house. Very well. It's o'clock, you think?
11, sir.
I pray you home to dinner with me.
I humbly thank you.
It grieves me for the death of Claudia. There's no remedy.
Lord Angelo is severe.
It is but needful. Mercy is not itself that oft looks so. Pardon is still the nurse of second woe. Alas, Claudia, there's no remedy. Come, sir.
He's hearing of a cause. He will come straight. I'll tell him of you.
Pray you, do. I'll know his pleasure. Maybe he will relent. Alas, he hath but is offended in a dream. All sects, all ages smack of this vice, and he to die for it?
Now, what's the matter, Provost?
Is it your will Claudio shall die tomorrow?
Did I not tell thee yea? Hadst thou not ordered? Why dost thou ask again?
Lest I might be too rash. Under your good correction, I have seen when, after execution, judgment hath repented o'er his doom.
Go to, let that be mine. Do you your office, and you shall well be spared.
I crave your honor's pardon. What shall be done, sir, with the groaning Juliet? She's very near her hour.
Dispose of her to some more fitter place, and that with speed.
Here is the sister of the man condemned. Desires access to you.
Hath the assistant.
Aye, my good lord. A very virtuous maid, and to be shortly of a sisterhood, if not already.
Well, let her be admitted. See you the fornicatress be removed. Let her have needful, but not lavish means. There shall be order for it.
God save your honor.
Stay a little while. You're welcome. What's your will?
I am a woeful suitor to your honor. Please, but your honor, hear me.
Well, what's your suit?
There is a vice that most I do abhor, and most desire should meet the blow of justice, for which I would not plead, but that I must. For which I must not plead, but that I am at war twixt will and will not.
Well, the matter?
I have a brother that's condemned to die. I do beseech you. Let it be his fault and not my own.
Heaven give thee moving graces.
Condemn the fault, not the actor of it. Why every fault's condemned, ere it be done. Mine were the very cipher of a function. To find the fault, whose fine stands in record, and let go by the actor.
Just but severe law. I had a brother then. Heaven keep your honor.
Give it not or so. To him again. Entreat him. Kneel down before him. Hang upon his gown. You are too cold. If you could not with him a tongue more desired, to him I say.
Must he needs die?
Maiden, no remedy.
Yes, I do think that you might pardon, and neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy.
I will not do it.
But can you if you would?
Look, what I will not, that I cannot do.
But might you do it, and do the world no wrong, if so your heart were touched with that remorse as mine is to him?
You sentenced. It's too late.
You are too cold.
Too late. Why no, I didn't speak a word may call it back again. Well, believe this. No ceremony that to break one's wrongs, not the king's crown nor the deputed sword, the marshal's truncheon nor the judge's robe become them, with one half so good a grace as mercy does. If he had been as you and you as he, you would have slipped like him. that he, like you, would not have been so stern.
Pray you be gone.
I would to heaven I had your potency, and you were Isabel. Should it then be thus? No, I would tell what 'twere to be a judge and what a prisoner.
Aye, that's well said.
Your brother is a forfeit of the law, and you but waste your words.
Alas, alas, why all the souls that were forfeit once, and he that might the vantage best have took found out the remedy. How would you be if he, which is the top of judgment, should but judge you as you are? Who think on that, and mercy then will breathe within your lips like man you made.
Be you content, fair maid? It is the law, not I, that condemn your brother. Were he my kinsman, brother, or my son, it should be thus with him. He must die tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, it's sudden. Spare him. Spare him. He's not prepared for death. Even for our kitchens we kill the fowl of season. Shall we serve heaven with less respect than we do minister to our gross selves? Good. Good, my lord, be thinking. Who is it that hath died for this offense? As many have committed.
That's well said.
The law has not been dead, though it hath slept. Those many had not dared to do the evil, if first the edict infringed had answered for this deed. Now 'tis wait, takes note of what is done, and like a prophet looks in a glass to see what future evils either new, or by remissness do conceive. And so in progress to be hatched and born, are to have no successive degrees, but ere they live, to end.
Yet show some pity.
I show it most of all when I show justice. Then I pity those I do not know, which a dismissed offense would after gall and do him right. Answering one foul wrong lives not to act another. Be satisfied. Your brother dies tomorrow. Be content.
So you must be the first that gives the sentence, and he that suffers. Oh, it is excellent to have a giant's strength, but it is tyrannous to use it like a giant.
Oh, to him wait. He will relent. He's coming. I perceived.
Pray heaven she win him.
Could great men thunder as Jove himself does, Jove would ne'er be quiet. For every pelting, petty officer would use his heaven for thunder, nothing but thunder. Merciful heaven, thou rather with thy sharp and sulphurous bolts splits the unwatchable and gnarled oak than the soft word. But man, proud man dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before a high heaven as makes the angels weep, who, with their spleens would all themselves laugh mortal.
Oh, well said.
We cannot weigh our brother with ourselves. Great men may jest with saints, 'tis wit in them, but in the less fell profanation.
Thou art of the right, girl. More of that.
That in the captain's but a carlet word, which in the soldier's flat blasphemy.
Art advised of that. More on it.
Why do you put these sayings upon me?
Because authority, though in air like others, hath yet a kind of medicine in itself that skins the vice in the tongue. Go to your bosom, knock there and ask your heart, but it don't know that's like my brother's fault. If it confess a natural guiltiness such as his, let it not sound a thought upon your tongue against my brother's life.
She speaks, 'tis such sense that my sense breathes with it. Fare you well.
Gentle, my lord, turn back.
I will bethink me. Come again tomorrow.
Hark, how I'll bribe you, good my lord, turn back.
How? Bribe me?
Aye, with such gifts as heaven shall share with you.
You had marred all else.
Not with fond shekels of the tested gold, or stones whose rates are either rich or poor as fancy values them, but with true prayers that shall be up at heaven and enter there at sunrise. Prayers from preserved souls, from fasting maids whose minds are dedicated to nothing temporal.
Well, come again tomorrow.
Go to, 'tis well away.
Heaven keep your honor safe.
Amen. For I'm that way going to temptation where prayers are
At
crossed.
what hour tomorrow shall I attend your lordship?
Any time for noon.
Safe, your honor.
From thee and thy virtue. What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine? Tempter or the tempted? Who sins most? Not she, nor does she tempt. But it is I that lying by the violet in the sun, do as the carrion does, not as the flower, corrupt with virtuous season. Can it be modesty may more betray our sense in women's likeness? Having waste ground enough, shall we desire to raise the sanctuary In pits are evils there. Oh, 555. What dost thou? Or what art thou, Angelo? Dost thou desire her foully for the things that make her good? Oh, let her brother live. Thieves for their robbery have authority when judges steal themselves. What? Do I love her that I desire to hear her speak again? And feast upon her eyes. What is it I dream on? Oh, cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints doth bait thy hook. Most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on and make us sin in loving virtue. Never could the strumpet with all her double vigor, art and nature once stir my temper. But this virtuous maid subdues me quite. Even now, when men were fond, I smiled and wondered how.
Hail to you, Provost. So I think you are.
I am the Provost. What's your will, good friar?
Bound by my charity and my blessed order, I come to visit the afflicted spirits here in the prison. Do me the common right to let me see them, and to make me know the nature of their crimes, that I may minister to them accordingly.
I would do more if more were needful. Look, here comes one, a gentlewoman of mine, who, falling in the flaws of her own youth, hath blistered her report. She is with child, and he that got it, sentenced. A young man more fit to do another such offense than die for this.
When must he die?
As I do think, tomorrow. I have provided for you. Stay a while, and you should be conducted.
Repent, you fair one, of the sin you carry. I'll teach you how you shall arraign your conscience, or try your penitence, if it be sound or hollowly put on.
I'll gladly learn.
Love you the man that wronged you?
Yes, as I love the woman that wronged him.
So then it seems your most offensible act was mutually committed.
Mutually.
Then was your sin of heavier kind than his?
I do confess that I repented, Father.
'Tis meet so, daughter, but lest you do repent, as the sin hath brought you to the shame, which sorrow is always towards ourselves, not heaven, showing that we would not spare heaven as we love it, but as we stand in fear.
I do. Repent me as it is evil, and take the shame with joy.
There rest. Your partner, as I hear, must die tomorrow, and I'm going with instruction to him. Grace go with you. Benedicite.
Must die tomorrow? Oh, injurious love that best fits me a life, whose very comfort is still a dying horror.
'Tis pity of him.
When I would pray and think, I think and pray. Several subjects. Heaven hath my empty words. Whilst my invention hearing not my tongue, anchors on Isabel. Heaven in my mouth as if I did but only chew his name. And in my heart, strong and swelling evil of my conception. State why I study this, like a good thing, being often read, grown sere and tedious, yea, my gravity wherein. Let no man hear me. I take pride, could I with change, hoop for an idle plume which beats the air for vain. Oh, place, oh, form, how often does with thy case thy habit wrench all from fools and tie the wiser souls to thy false seeming? Blood, thou art blood. Let's write good angel on the devil's horn. 'Tis not the devil's crest.
Sir,
Hannah, who's there?
one Isabel, a sister, desires access to you.
Teach her the way. Oh, heavens, why does my blood thus muster to my heart, making both it unable for itself, and dispossessing all other parts of necessary fitness? So play the foolish wrongs of one that swoons. Come all to help him, and so stop the air by which he should revive. The general subject to a well-wished king, quit their own part of obsequious fondness, crowd to his presence, where their untaught love must needs appear offense. How now, fair maid?
I am come to know your pleasure.
Now you might know it would much rather please me than to demand what 'tis. Your brother cannot live.
And so, then keep your honor.
Yet he may live a while, and it may be as long as you or I. Yet he must die.
Under your sentence?
Yea.
When, I beseech you, that in his reprieve, longer or shorter, he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not.
Fie, these filthy vices! It were as good to pardon him that hath from nature stolen a man already made, as to remit their saucy sweetness that to coin heaven's image and stamps that are forbid. 'Tis always falsely to take away a life true made, as to put metals in restrained means to make a false one.
'Tis set down so in heaven, but not in earth.
Say you so? Then I shall pose you quickly. Which had you rather? That the most just law now took your brother's life, or to redeem him, lay down your body to such sweet uncleanness as she that he hath stained?
Sir, believe this. I had rather give my body than my soul.
I talk not of your soul. Our compelled sins stand more for number than for account.
Say you.
Nay, I'll not warrant that, for I can speak against the thing I said. Answer to this. I, now the voice of the recorded law, pronounce a sentence on your brother's life. Might there not be a charity in sin to save this brother's life?
Please you to do it. I'll take it as a peril to my soul. It is no sin at all, but charity.
Please you to do it at peril of your soul, or equal poise of sin and charity.
That I do beg his life. If it be sin, heaven let me bear it. You, granting of my suit, if that be sin, I'll make it my one prayer to have it added to faults of mine, and nothing of your answer.
Nay, your sense pursues not mine. Either you are ignorant, or seem so craftily, and that's not good.
Let me be ignorant, and in nothing good, but graciously to know I am no better.
Thus wisdom wishes to appear most bright when it doth tax itself, as these black masks proclaim, and in sealed beauty 10 times louder than beauty could display. But mark, to be received more plain, I'll speak more gross. Your brother is to die.
So,
And his offense is so, account to the law upon that pain.
true.
Admit no other way to save his life, as I subscribe, not that, nor any other, but in the law's question, that you, his sister, finding yourself desire such a person, whose credit with the judge, your own great place, could fetch your brother from the manacles of the all-building law, and that there were no earthly means to save him, but that either you laid down the treasures of your body to this suppose, or let him suffer, what would you do?
As much for my poor brother as myself. That is, were I under the terms of death, the impression of keen whips I'd wear as rubies, and strip myself to death as to a bed that longing had been sick for, ere I'd yield my body up to shame.
Then must your brother die?
And 'twere the cheaper way. Better it were a brother died at once, than that a sister, by redeeming him, should die forever.
Were not you then as cruel as a sentence that you have slandered so?
Hidden to me in ransom and free pardoner of 2 houses. Awful mercy is nothing kin to foul redemption.
You seemed of late to make the law a tyrant, and rather prove the slighting of your brother a merriment than a vice.
Pardon me, my lord. If aught falls out to have what we would have, we speak not what we mean. I something to excuse the thing I hate, for his advantage that I dearly love.
We are all frail.
Else let my brother die, if not a fettery, but only he owns to see thy weakness.
Nay, women are frail too.
High is the glasses where they view themselves, which are as easy broke as they make forms. Women, help heaven. Men, their creation mar and profiting by them. Nay, call us 10 times frail, for we are soft as our complexions are, incredulous to false prints.
I think it well. But from this testimony of your own sex, since I suppose we are made no stronger than faults may shake our frames, let me be bold. I do arrest your words. Be that you are a woman, if you be more, you're none. If you be one, as you are well expressed, show it now by putting on the destined livery.
I have no tongue but one. Gentle my lord, let me treat you speak the former language.
Plainly conceive. I love you.
My brother did love Juliet, and you tell me you shall die for it.
You shall not, Isabel, if you give me love.
I know your virtue had the license in it, which seems a little fouler than it is to pluck on others.
Believe me, on mine honor, my words express my purpose.
Little honor to be much believed. And See me. I will proclaim thee, Angelo. Look for it. Sign me a present pardon for my brother, or with an outstretched throat I'll tell the world aloud what man thou art.
Who will believe thee, Isabel? My unsoiled name, the austereness of my life, my vouch against you, and my place in the state will sow your accusation your way, that you shall stifle in your own report, and smell of calumny. I have begun, and give my sensual race the rein. Fit thy consent to my sharp appetite, laid by all nicety and prolicious blushes that banish what they sue for. Give up thy body to my will, or must your brother not only die the death, but thy unkindness will his death draw out to lingering sufferance. Answer me tomorrow. By the affection that now guides me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you can, my false or ways your true.
To whom should I complain? Did I tell this, who would believe me? Oh, perilous mouths, that bear in them one and the self-same tongue, either condemnation or proof, bidding the law make courtesy to their will, hooking both right and wrong to the appetite, follow as it draws. To my brother, though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, yet hath he in him such a mind of honor that, had he 20 heads to tender down on 20 bloody plots, he'd yield them up, before his sister should her body stoop to such a forward pollution. Then Isabel lived chaste. Brother died. More than our brothers are chaste. I'll tell him yet at Angelo's request, if it is mine to death, or his soul's rest.
So then you hope of pardon from Lord Angelo? The miserable have no other medicine but only hope. I've hoped to live, and am prepared to die.
Be absolute to death. Either death or life shall thereby be the sweeter. Reason thus with life. If I do lose, I lose a thing that none but fools would keep. A breath thou art, servile to all the skyey influences that dust this habitation where thou keepst hourly afflicts. Merely, thou art death's fool. For him thou laborest by the flight to shun, and yet runst toward him still. Thou art not noble, for all the accommodations that thou bearest are nursed by baseness. Thou art by no means valiant, for thou dost fear the soft and tender fork of a poor worm. Thy best of rest is sleep, and that thou oft provokes, yet grossly fear'st thy death, which is no more. Thou art not thyself, for thou exists on many 1,000 grains that issue out of dust. Happy thou art not, for what thou hast not, still thou strivest to get, and what thou hast, forgettest. Thou art not certain, for thy complexion shifts to strange effects after the moon. If thou art rich, thou art poor, for like an ass whose back with ingots bows, thou bearest thy heavy riches but a journey, and death unloads thee. Friend hast thou none, for thy own bowels which do call thee sire, the mere effusion of thy proper loins do curse the gout, surpigo, and room for ending thee no sooner. Thou hast nor youth nor age, but as it were, an after-dinner sleep, dreaming on both. For thy own blessed youth becomes as aged, and doth beg the alms of palsied elves. And when thou art old and rich, thou hast neither heat, affection, limb, nor beauty to make thy riches pleasant. What's yet in this that bears the name of life? Yet in this life like it mo 1,000 deaths. Yet death we fear that makes these odds all even.
I humbly thank you. To sue to live, I find I seek to die, and in seeking death, find life. Let it come on.
What ho! Peace here, grace, and good company.
Who's there? Come in. The wish deserves a welcome.
Dear sir, ere long I'll visit you again.
Most holy sir, I thank you.
My business is a word or two with Claudia.
And very welcome. Look, senor, here's your sister.
Provost, a word with you.
As many as you please.
Bring me to hear them speak, where I may be concealed.
Sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as comforts are most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador, where you shall be in everlasting leisure. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set off.
Is there no remedy?
None. Such remedy as save a head to cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge, if you'll implore it. That will free your life, but better you till death.
Perpetual durance.
Aye, just perpetual durance. A restraint, though all the world's elasticity you had to a determined scope.
But in what nature?
In such a one as, you consenting to it, would bark your honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point.
Oh, I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake lest thou a feverish life shouldst entertain, and 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor. Darest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies.
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
There spake my brother. There my father's grave did utter forth the voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sainted deputy, whose settled visage and deliberate word nips youth in the head, and follies doth anew as falcon doth the fowl, is yet a devil. His filth within being cast, he would appear upon as deep as hell.
Precise Angelo.
'Tis the cunning livery of hell, the damned his body to invest and cover in precise garbs. Dost thou think, Claudio, if I would yield him my virginity, thou mightst be free?
Heavens. It cannot be.
Yes, he would give it thee. From this rank offense so to avenge him still. This night's the time that I should do what I bore to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do it.
Oh, were it but my life, I'd throw it down for your deliverance, as frankly as a pin.
Thanks, dear Isabel.
Be ready, Claudio. Your death tomorrow.
Yes. Has he afflictions in him that thus can make him bite the law by the nose when he would force it? Sure, it is no sin, or of the deadly 7, it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he for the momentary trick be permanently fined? Oh, Isabel!
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shame in life a hateful.
But to die and go we know not where, to lie in cold obstruction and to rot, this sensible warm motion to become a needed clod, and the delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in thrilling region of thick-ribbed ice, to be imprisoned in the viewless winds and blown with restless violence round about the bending world, or to be worse than worst of those that lawless and in certain thought imagine howling. 'Tis too horrible. The weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, or imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas!
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life, nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
Oh, you beast! Oh, faithless coward! Oh, dishonest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? Is not a kind of incest to take life from thine own sister's shame? What should I think? Heaven shield my mother played my father fair. For such a warm slip a wilderness ne'er issued from his blood. Take my defiance, die, perish. Might but my bending down reprieve thee from thy fate, it should proceed. I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death, no word to save thee.
Nay, hear me, Isabel.
Oh, bye. Thy sin's not accidental but a trade. Mercy to thee would prove itself a bond. thou diest quickly.
Hear me, Isabella. Vouchsafe a word, young sister. But one word.
What is your will?
Might you dispense with your leisure, I would by and by have some speech with you. The satisfaction I would require is likewise your own benefit.
I have no superfluous leisure. My stay must be stolen out of other affairs. But I will attend you a while.
Son, I have overheard what hath passed between you and your sister. Angelo had never the purpose to corrupt her. Only he hath made an essay of her virtue to practice his judgment with the disposition of natures. She, having the truth of honor in her, hath made him that gracious denial which he's most glad to receive. I'm confessor to Angelo, and I know this to be true. Therefore prepare yourself to death. Do not satisfy your resolution with hopes that are fallible. Tomorrow you must die. Go to your knees and make ready.
Let me ask my sister pardon. I am so out of love with life that I will soon to be rid of it.
Hold you there. Farewell. Provost, a word with you.
What's your will, good friar?
That now you are come, you will be gone. Leave me a while with the maid. My mind promises with my habit, no law shall touch her by my company.
In good time.
The hand that hath made you fair hath made you good. The goodness that is chief in beauty makes beauty brief in goodness, but grace, being the soul of your complexion, shall keep the body of it ever fair. The assault that Angelo hath made to you, fortune hath conveyed to my understanding, and but frailty hath examples of his falling. I should wonder at Angelo. How will you do to content this substitute, and to save your brother?
I am now going to resolve him. I had rather my brother die by the law than my son should be unlawfully born. Oh, how much is the good Duke deceived in Angelo. If ever he returned and I could speak to him, I will open my lips in vain or discover his government.
That may not be much amiss. Yet as it now stands, he'll avoid your accusation. He made trial of you only. Therefore fasten your ear to my advisings in the love that I have in doing good. A remedy presents itself. I do make myself believe that you may most uprighteously do a poor wronged lady a merited benefit, redeem your brother from the angry law, do no stain to your own gracious person, and much please the absent Duke if, peradventure, he shall ever have returning to hear of this business.
Let me hear you speak farther. I have spirit to do anything that appears not foul in the truth of my spirit.
Virtue is bold, and goodness never fearful. Have you not heard speak of Marianne, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who miscarried at sea?
I have heard of the lady, and good words went with her name.
She should this Angelo have married, was affianced to her oath and the nuptial appointed, between which time of the contract and limit of the solemnity, her brother Frederick was wrecked at sea, having in his perished vessel the dowry of his sister. But mark how heavily this befell the poor gentlewoman. There she lost a noble and renowned brother, in his love for her, ever most kind and natural. With him, the portion and sinew of her fortune, her marriage dowry. With both, her competent husband, this well-seeming Angelo.
Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her?
Left her in her tears, and did not dry one of them with discomfort. Swallowed his vows whole, pretending in her discoveries of dishonor, in few, bestowed her on her own lamentation, which she yet wears for his sake. And he, a marvel of her tears, is washed with them, but relents not.
What a merit were in death to take this poor maid from the world. What corruption in this life that will let this man live? But how out of this can she avail?
It is a rupture you may easily heal, and the cure of it not only saves your brother, but keeps you from dishonor in doing it.
Show me how, good father.
This forenamed maid hath yet in her the continuance of her first affection. His unjust unkindness that, with all reason, should have quenched her love, hath, like an impediment in the current, made it more violent and unruly. Go to Angelo. Answer his requiring with a plausible obedience. Agree with his demands to the point. But refer yourself to this advantage. First, that your stay with him may not be long. That the time may have all shadow and silence in it. And that the time answer the convenience. This being granted in course, and now follows all. We shall advise this wronged maid to speed up your appointments. Go in your place. If the encounter acknowledge itself hereafter, it might compel him to her recompense. And then, by this, is your brother saved, the poor Mariana advantaged, your honor untainted, and the corrupt deputy scaled. The maid will I frame and make fit for the attempt. If you think well to hold this as you may, the doubleness of the benefit defends the deceit from reproof. What think you of it?
The image of it gives me content already, and I trust it will grow to a most prosperous perfection.
It lies much in your holding up. Haste you speedily to Angelo. For this night, if he entreats you to his bed, give him promise of satisfaction. I will presently to St. Luke's. There at the moated grange resides this dejected Mariana. At that place call upon me, and dispatch with Angelo that it may be quickly.
I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, good father.
Nay, if there be no remedy for it, but that you'll needs buy and sell men and women like beasts, we shall have all the world drink brown and white bastard.
Oh, heavens, what stuff is here?
'Twas never a merry world since. Of two usuries, the merriest was put down, and the worse are allowed by order of law. A furred gown to keep him warm, furred with fox and lambskins too, to signify that craft, being richer than innocency, stands for the facing.
Come your way, sir. Bless you, good Father Friar.
And you, good brother father, what offense hath this man made you, sir?
Marry, sir. For he hath offended the law, and sir, we take him to be a thief too, sir. For we have found upon him, sir, a strange, picklock, which we have sent to the deputy.
Fie, sirrah, a bawd, a wicked bawd.
That's right.
The evil that thou causest to be done, that is thy means to live. Do thou but think what 'tis to cram a maw or cloth a back from such a filthy vice. Say to thyself, from their abominable and beastly touches I drink, I eat, array myself and live. Canst thou believe thy living is a life so stinkily depending? Go mend, go mend.
Indeed, it does stink in some sort, sir. But yet, sir,
Nay, if the devil have given thee proofs for sin, thou wilt prove his. Take him to prison, officer. Correction and instruction must both work, ere this rude beast will profit.
He must be for the deputy, sir. For he has given him warning. The deputy cannot abide a whore master. If he be a whoremonger and come before him, well, he were as good go a mile in his errand.
That we were all, as some would seem to be, from our faults as faults from seeming free.
His neck will come to your waist. Accord, sir.
I spy comfort. I cry bail. Here is a gentleman and a friend of mine.
How now, noble Pompey? What, at the wheels of Caesar? Art thou led in triumph? What, is there none of Pygmalion's images newly made women to be had now? For putting the hand in the pocket and extracting clutch? What reply, huh? What sayest thou to this tune matter and method? It's not drowneth the last rain, huh? What sayest thou, Trot? Is the world as it was, man? Which is the way? Is it sad and few words, or how the trick of it?
Still thus and thus, still worse.
How doth my dear morsel thy mistress? Procure she still, huh?
Troth, sir, she hath eaten up all her beef, and she is herself in the tub.
Why, 'tis right. It is the right of it. It must be so. Ever your fresh whore and your powdered bald and unshunned consequence? It must be so. Art thou going to prison, Pompey?
Yes, faith, sir.
Why, 'tis not amiss. Farewell. Go. Say I sent thee thither. For that, Pompey, or how?
For being a bawd! For being a bawd!
Well then, imprison him if imprisonment be the due of a bawd. Bawd is he doubtless, and of antiquity too. Bawd born. Farewell, Pompey. Commend me to the prison, Pompey. You will turn good husband now, Pompey. You will keep the house.
I hope, sir, your good worship will be my bail.
No, indeed it will not, Pompey. It is not the wear. Why, if you take it not patiently, I will pray, Pompey, to increase your bondage. Your metal is the more. Adieu, trusty Pompey. Bless you, friar.
And you?
Does Bridget paint still, Pompey, huh?
Come your way, sir. Come.
You will not fail me then, sir.
Then, Pompey, nor now. What news abroad, friar?
Come
What
your
news?
way, sir. Come.
Go to kennel, Pompey, go! What news, friar, of the Duke?
I know none. Can you tell me of any?
Some say he's with the Emperor of Russia. Others some he's in Rome. Where is he, think you?
I know not where, but wheresoever, I wish him well.
It was a mad, fantastical trick of him to steal from the state and usurp the beggary he was never born to. Lord Angelo dukes it well in his absence. He puts transgression to it.
He does well in it.
A little more lenity to lechery would do no harm in him. Something too crabbed that way, friar.
It is too general a vice, and severity must cure it.
Yes, in good sooth. The vices of a great kindred. It is well allied, but it's impossible to extirpate it quite until eating and drinking be put down. They say this Lord Angelo is not made by man and woman after this downright way of creation. Is this true, think you?
How should he be made, then?
Some report a sea maid spawned him. Some that he was begot between two stockfishes. But it is certain, when he makes water, his urine is congealed ice. And that I know to be true. And he's a motion ungenerative, that's infallible.
You are pleasant, sir, and speak apace.
Why, what a ruthless thing is this in him. For the rebellion of a codpiece to take away the life of a man. Would the Duke that is absent have done this? Ere, he would have hanged a man for getting 100 bastards. He would have paid for the nursing 1,000. He had some feeling of the sport. He knew the service, and that instructed him to mercy.
I never heard the absent Duke much detected for women. He was not inclined that way.
Sir, you are deceived.
'Tis not possible.
Who, not the Duke? Yes, your beggar of 50. And his use was to put a ducat in her clock dish.
You do him wrong, surely.
Sir, I was an inward of his. A shy fellow was the Duke. And I believe I know the cause of his withdrawing.
What, I prithee, might be the cause?
No, pardon. 'Tis a secret should be locked between the teeth and lips. But this I can let you understand. The greater file of the subject held the Duke to be wise.
Wise? Why, no question but he was.
A very superficial, ignorant, unweighing fellow
Either
that...
this is the envy in you folly or mistaken. The very stream of his life and the business he hath helmed must upon a warranted need give him a better proclamation. Let him be but testimonied in his own bringing forth, and he shall appear to the envious a scholar, a statesman, and a soldier. Therefore you speak unskillfully, or if your knowledge be more, it is much darkened in your malice.
Sir, I know him, and I love him.
Love talks with better knowledge, and knowledge with dearer love.
Come, sir, I know what I know.
I can hardly believe that, since you know not what you speak. But if the Duke should ever return, as our prayers are he may, I will desire you to make your answer before him. If it is honest you have spoke, you have courage to maintain it. I am bound to call upon you, and I pray you your name.
Sir, my name is Lucio, well known to the Duke.
He'll know you better, sir, if I may live to report him.
I fear you not.
Oh, you hope the Duke return no more. Or you imagine me too unhurtful and opposite. But indeed, I can do you little harm. You'll forswear this again?
I'll be hanged first. Thou art deceived in me, friar. But no more of this. Canst thou tell me if Claudia will die tomorrow or not?
Why should he die, sir?
Why? For filling a bottle with a tongue dish. I would the Duke we talk of were returned again. This ungenerative agent will unpeople the province with his continency. Sparrows should not build in his house eaves because they are lecherous. The Duke yet would have dark deeds darkly answered. He would never bring him tonight, would he were returned. Marry, this Claudio is condemned for untrussing. Farewell, friar, I prithee, pray for me. The Duke, yet I say to thee again, would eat mutton on Fridays. He's now past it. And yet I say to thee, he would mouth with a beggar though she smelt brown bread and garlic. Say that I said so. Farewell.
No might nor greatness in mortality can censor scape. back-wounding calumny, the whitest virtue strikes. But what king so strong can tie the gull up in this slanderous tongue? But who comes here?
Go, away with her to prison.
Good my lord, be good to me. Your honor is accounted a merciful man. Good my lord.
Double and treble admonition, and still forfeit in the same kind. This would make mercy swear and play the tyrant.
A board of 11 years continuance, may it please your honor.
My lord, this is one Lucio's information against me. Mistress Kate Keepdown was with child by him in the Duke's time. He promised her marriage. His child is 1.25 years old, come Philip and Jacob. I have kept it myself, and see how he goes about to abuse me.
That fellow is a fellow of much license. Let him be called before us. Away with her to prison. Go to, no more words. Provost, my brother Angelo will not be altered. Claudio must die tomorrow. Let him have all furnishings. My brother wrought by my pity. It should not be so of him.
So please you, this friar hath been with him and advised him for the entertainment of death.
Good even, good father.
Blissum goodness on you.
Of whence are you?
Not of this country, though my chance is now to use it for my time. I am a brother of gracious order, late come from the sea in holy business of his holiness.
What news abroad in the world?
None, but that there is such a great fever on goodness that the dissolution of it must cure it. Novelty is only in request, and it is as dangerous to be cursed in any kind of age than it is virtuous to be constant in any undertaking. There is scarce truth enough alive to make society secure, but security enough to make fellowships accursed. Much upon this riddle runs the wisdom of the world. This news is old enough, yet it is every day's news. I pray you, sir, of what disposition was the Duke?
One that above all other scribes contended especially to know himself.
What pleasure was he given to?
Rather rejoicing to see another married than married anything would profess to make him rejoice. A gentleman of all temperance. But leave we him to his events, for prayer they may prove prosperous. And let me desire to know how you find Claudio prepared. I may understand you have lent him visitation.
He professes to have received no sinister measure from his judge, but most willingly humbles himself to the determination of justice. Yet had he framed to himself, by the instruction of his frailty, many deceiving promises of life, which I, by my good leisure, have discredited to him. And now he is resolved to die.
You have paid to heavens your function, and the prisoner the very death of your calling. I have labored for the poor gentleman to the extremest shores of my modesty. But my brother Justice have I found so severe that he hath forced me to tell him that he's indeed justice.
If his life answer the straightness of his proceeding, it shall become him well. Wherein if he chance to fail, he hath sentenced himself.
I am going to visit the prisoner. Very well.
Peace be with you. He who the sword of heaven should bear, should be as holy as severe. Pattern in himself to know, grace to stand, and virtue go. More nor less than others paying, than by self-offenses weighing. Shame to him whose cruel striking kills for faults of his own liking. Twice treble, shame on Angelo, to weed my vice, and let his grow. Oh, what may man within him hide, though angel on the outward side? What may likeness made in crimes, making practice on the times, to draw with idle spider strings most ponderous and substantial things? Craft against vice I must apply. With Angelo tonight shall lie his oath betrothed, but despised. So disguise shall be by disguise, pay with falsehood false exacting, and perform an old contracting.
Take those lips away that so sweetly were for
Break off thy song. Here comes a man of comfort, for the vice that often still my brawling discontent. I cry you mercy, sir, and well could wish you have now found me here so musical. Let me excuse me, and believe me so, my mirth, it much displeased, but pleased my woe.
'Tis good, though music oft hath such a charm to make bad good, and good provoke to harm. I pray you tell me, hath anybody inquired for me here today? Much upon this time I have promised here to meet.
You're not been inquired after. I've sat here all day.
I do constantly believe you. The time has come even now. I shall crave your forbearance a little. Maybe I shall call upon you at none for some advantage to yourself.
I'm always bound to you.
Very well met and well come. What is the news from this good deputy?
He hath a garden circummured with brick, whose western side is with the vineyard backed, and to that vineyard is a plant gate that makes his opening with this bigger key. This other doth command a little door which from the vineyard to the garden leads. There have I made my promise upon the heavy middle of the night to call upon him.
But shall you on your knowledge find this way?
I obtain a due and wary note upon it, with whispering and most guilty diligence, an action all of precept. He did show me the way twice o'er.
And are there no other tokens between you agreed concerning her observance?
No, none, but only repair in the dark. And that I have possessed him my most day can be but brief. For I have made him know I have a servant comes with me along that stays upon me, whose persuasion is I come about my brother.
'Tis well borne up. I have not yet made known to Mariana a word of this. What ho within? Come forth. I pray you, be acquainted with this maid. She comes to do you good.
I do desire the like.
Do you persuade yourself that I respect you?
Good friar, I know you do and have found it.
Take then this your companion by the hands, who hath a story ready for your ear. I shall attend your leisure, but make haste. The vaporous night approaches.
Will please you walk aside?
O place and greatness, millions of false eyes are stuck upon thee. Volumes of report run with these false and most contrarious quests upon thy doings. Thousand escapes of wit make thee the father of their idle dreams and rack thee in their fancies. Welcome. How agreed?
She'll take the enterprise upon her, father, if you advise it.
It is not my consent, but my entreaty too.
Little have you to say when you depart from him, but soft and low. Remember now, my brother.
Fear me not.
Nor, gentle daughter, fear you not at all. He is your husband on a free contract. To bring you thus together, 'tis no sin, sith that the title to your name to him doth flourish the deceit. Come, let us go. Our corns to reap, for yet our tithes to sow.
But my kisses bring again, seals of love, but sealed in vain, sealed in vain.
Come hither, sirrah. Can you cut off a man's head?
If the man be a bachelor, sir, I can. But if he be a married man, then he's his wife's head, and I could never cut off a woman's head.
Come, sir. Leave me your snatches and yield me a direct answer. Tomorrow morning are to die Claudio and Barnardine. Here is in our prison a common executioner who, in his office, lacks a helper. If you will take it on you to assist him, it shall redeem you from your gyves. If not, you shall have your full time of imprisonment and your deliverance with an unpitied whipping, for you have been a notorious bawd.
Sir, I have been an unlawful bawd time out of mind. But yet I will be content to be a lawful hangman. I would be glad to receive some instruction from my fellow partner.
What ho, Abhorsen? Where's Abhorsen there?
You call, sir.
Sirrah, here's a fellow will help you tomorrow in your execution. If you think it meet, compound with him by the year and let him abide here with you. If not, use him for the present and dismiss him. He cannot plead his estimation with you. He hath been a bawd.
A bawd, sir. Fie upon him. He will discredit our mystery.
Go to, sir. You weigh equally. A feather will turn the scale.
Pray, sir, by your good favor, or surely, sir, a good favor you have, but that you have a hanging look. Do you call, sir, your occupation a mystery?
Aye, sir, a mystery.
Painting, I've heard say, is a mystery. And your whores, sir, being members of my occupation, using painting do prove my occupation a mystery. But what mystery there should be in hanging? If I should be hanged, I cannot imagine.
Sir, it is a mystery.
Proof!
Every true man's apparel fits your thief. If it be too little for your thief, your true man thinks it big enough. If it be too big for your thief thinks it's little enough. So every true man's apparel fits your thief.
Are you agreed?
Sir, I will serve him. For I do find your hangman to be in more penitent trade than your bawd. He doth oftener ask forgiveness.
You, sirrah, provide your block and your axe tomorrow 4 o'clock.
Come on, bard. I'll instruct thee in my trade. Follow.
I do desire to learn, sir. And I hope, sir, if you find occasion to use me for your own turn, you shall find me yard. For truly, sir, for your kindness I owe you a good turn.
Call hither Barnardine and Claudio. The one has my pity, not a jot the other, being a murderer, though he were my brother. Look, Claudio, here's the warrant for thy death. 'Tis now dead midnight, and by 8 tomorrow thou must be made immortal. Where's Barnardine?
As fast locked up in sleep as guiltless labor when it lies starkly in the traveler's bones. You will not wake.
Who can do good on him? Well, go. Prepare yourself.
Hello?
But hark, what noise? Heaven give your spirits comfort.
Are you in there?
By and by, I hope it is some pardon or reprieve for the most gentle Claudio. Welcome, Father.
The best and wholesome spirits of the night envelope you, good provost. Who called here of late?
None, since the curfew rung.
Not Isabel.
No.
They will then ere be long.
What comfort is for Claudio?
There's some in hope.
It is a bitter deputy.
Not so, not so. His life is paralleled even with the stroke and line of his great justice. He doth with holy abstinence subdue that in himself which he spurs on his power to qualify in others.
Were he mealed with that which he corrects, then were he tyrannous. But this being so, he's just. Now they come. This is a gentle provost, seldom when the steeled jailer is a friend of man. How now? What noise? That spirits possessed with haste that wounds the unassisting postern with these strokes.
There he must stay until the officer arrives to let him in. He is called up.
Have you no counterman for Claudio yet? But he must die tomorrow?
None, sir, none.
As near the dawning provost as it is, you shall hear more ere morning.
Happily you something know, yet I believe there comes no counterman. No such example have we. Besides, upon the very siege of justice, Lord Angelo hath to the public ear professed the contrary. This is his lordship's man.
And here comes Claudio's pardon.
My lord hath sent you this note, and by me this further charge, that you swerve not from the smallest article of it, neither in time, matter, or other circumstance. Good morrow, for as I take it, it's almost day.
I shall obey him.
This is his pardon, purchased with such sin that the pardoner himself is in. Hence hath offense is quick celerity, when it is born in high authority. When vice makes mercy, mercy is so extended, that to our faults, love is the offender friended. Now, sir, what news?
I told you, Lord Angelo, belike thinking me remiss in mine office, awakens me with this unwonted putting on. Methinks strangely, for he hath not used it before.
Pray you, let's hear.
Whatsoever you may hear to the contrary, let Claudio be executed by 4 of the clock, and in the afternoon Barnardine. For my better satisfaction, let me have Claudio's head sent me by 5. Let this be duly performed with the thought that more depends on it than we must yet deliver. Thus fail not to do your office as you will answer it at your peril. What say you to this, sir?
What's that Barnardine who's to be executed in the afternoon?
A Bohemian born, but here nurse up and bred. One that is a prisoner 9 years old.
How came it that the absent duke had not delivered him to his liberty or executed him? I have heard it was ever his manner to do so.
His friends still wrought reprieves for him, and indeed, his fact till now in the government of Lord Angelo came not to an undoubtful truth.
Is it now apparent?
Most manifest and not denied by himself.
Hath he borne himself penitently in prison? How seems he to be touched?
A man that apprehends death no more dreadfully but as a drunken sleep. Careless, reckless, fearless of what's past, present, or to come. Insensible of mortality and desperately mortal.
He wants advice.
He will hear none. He hath evermore had the liberty of the prison. Give him leave to escape hence, he would not. Drunk many times a day, if not many days entirely drunk. We have very oft awaked him as if to carry him to execution, and showed him a seeming warrant for it. It hath not moved him at all.
More of him anon. There is written in your brow, provost, honesty and constancy. If I read it not truly, my ancient skill beguiles me. But in the boldness of my cunning, I will lay myself in hazard. Claudio, whom here you have the warrant to execute, is no greater forfeit to the law than Angelo, who hath sentenced him. To make you understand this in a manifested effect, I crave but 4 days' respite, for the which you are to do me both a present and dangerous courtesy.
Pray, sir, in what?
In the delaying death.
Alack, how may I do it? Having the hour limited, and in express command under penalty to deliver his head in view of Angelo, I may make my case as Claudio's across this in the smallest.
By the vow of mine order, I warrant you. Let my instruction be your guide. Let this Barnardine this morning be executed, and his head borne to Angelo.
Angelo hath seen them both, and he will discover the favor.
Oh, death's a great disguiser, and you may add to it. Shave the head and tie the beard, and say it was the desire of the penitent to be so bared before his death. You know the course is common. If anything fall to you upon this, more than thanks and good fortune by the saints whom I profess, I will plead against it with my life.
Pardon me, noble lord, it is against my oath.
Were you sworn to the Duke or to the deputy?
To him and to his substitutes.
You'll think you have done no wrong if the Duke could vouch the justice of your dealing?
But what likelihood is in that?
Not a resemblance, but a certainty. Yet that I still see you fearful, that neither my coat, integrity, nor persuasion can with ease attempt you. I will go further than I meant to pluck all fears out of you. Look, sir. Here is the hand and seal of the Duke. You know the character, I doubt not, and the signet is not strange to you.
I know them both.
The contents of this are the return of the Duke. You may anon overread it at your pleasure, where you shall find within these 2 days he will be here. This is a thing that Angelo knows not. For this very day, he receives letters of strange tenor, perchance of the Duke's death, perchance of entering into some monastery, but by chance, none of what is written. Look, the unfolding star call up the shepherd. Put yourself not into amazement how these things should be. All difficulties are easy when they are known. Call up your executioner and off with Barnardine's head. I will give him a present shrift and advise him for a better place to come. Yet you are amazed, but this shall absolutely resolve you. Come away. It is almost clear dawn.
I am as well acquainted here as I was in our house of profession. One would think it were Mistress Overdone's own house, for here be many of her old customers. First, there's young Master Rash. He's in for a commodity of brown paper and old ginger, 17 pounds, of which he made 5 marks ready money. Marry then, ginger was not much in request, for the old women were all dead. Then there's young Master Caper, at the suit of Master Three-Pile the Mercer, for some 4 suits of peach-colored satin, which now peaches him a beggar. Then have we young Dizzy, and young Master Deepvow, and Master Copperspur, and Master Starlackey, the rapier and daggerman, and young Drop-Air that killed Lusty Puddin', and brave Master Tilter, the great traveler, and Wild Halfcan that stabbed Potts, and I think 40 or so more, all great doers in our trade, and are now, for the Lord's sake.
Sirrah, bring Barnardine hither.
Master Barnardine, you must rise and be hanged, Master Barnardine.
What ho, Barnardine?
Epoxy your throats. Who makes that noise there? What are you?
Your friend, sir, the hangman. You must be so good, sir, to rise and be put to death.
Tell him he must awake, and that quickly too.
Pray, Master Barnardine, awake till you are executed and sleep afterwards.
Go into him and fetch him out.
He is coming, sir. He's coming. I hear his straw rustle.
Is the axe upon the block, Sirrah?
Very ready, sir.
Oh no. A horse and... What's the news with you?
Truly, sir, I desire you to clap into your prayers, for look you, the warrants come.
You rogue. I have been drinking all night. I am not fitted for it.
Oh, the better, sir. For he that drinks all night and is hanged betimes in the morning may sleep all the sounder the next day.
Look you here, sir. Here comes your ghostly father. Do we just now, think you?
Sir, induced by my charity and hearing how hastily you are to depart, I've come to advise you, comfort you, and pray with you.
Friar, not I. I have been drinking hard all night, and I will have more time to prepare me, or they shall beat out my brains with billets. I will not consent to die this day, that's certain.
Oh, sir, you must. Therefore, I beseech you, look forward to the journey you shall go.
I swear, I will not die today for any man's persuasion.
But hear you.
Not a word. If you have anything to say to me, come to my ward, for thence will not I today.
Unfit to live or die. Oh, gravel heart.
After him, fellows, bring him to the block. Now, sir, how do you find our prisoner?
A creature unprepared, unmeet for death. And to transport him in the mind he is, were damnable.
Father, here in the prison this morning there died of a cruel fever one Ragozine, a most notorious pirate. A man of Claudio's years, his beard and head just of his color. What if we were to omit this reprobate till he were well inclined and satisfy the deputy with the visage of Ragozine, more like to Claudio?
Oh, 'tis an accident that heaven provides. Dispatch it presently. The hour draws on prefixed by Angelo. See this be done and sent according to command, whilst I persuade this rude wretch willingly to die.
It shall be done, good father, presently. But Barnardine must die this afternoon. And how shall we continue Claudio to save me from the danger that might come if he were known alive?
Let this be done. Put them in secret holds, both Barnardine and Claudio. Ere twice the sun hath made his journal greeting to the yonder generation, you shall find your safety manifested.
I'm your free dependent.
Quick, dispatch, and send the head to Angelo. Now will I write letters to Angelo, the provost he will bear them, whose contents should witness to him I am near at home, and by great injunctions I am bound to enter publicly. Him I'll desire to meet me at the consecrated fount, a league below the city, and from thence, with cold gradation and well-balanced form, we shall proceed with Angelo.
Here is the head. I'll carry it myself.
Convenient is it. Make a swift return. I would commune with you of such things that wants no ear but yours.
I'll make all speed.
Peace, I'll be here.
The tongue of Isabel. She comes to know of her brother's pardon, be come hither. But I will keep her ignorant of her good, to make her heavenly comforts of despair when it is least expected.
Oh, by your leave.
Good morning to you, fair and gracious daughter.
The better, given me by so holy a man. Hath yet the deputy sent my brother's pardon?
He hath released him, Isabel, from the world. His head is off and sent to Angelo.
Nay, it is not so.
It is no other. Show your wisdom, daughter, and your close patience.
Oh, I will to him and pluck out his eyes.
You shall not be admitted to his sight.
Happy Claudio, wretched Isabel, curious world most damned Angelo.
This nor hurts him, nor profits you a jot. Forbear it, therefore. Give your cause to heaven. Mark what I say, which you shall find in every syllable a faithful verity. The Duke comes home tomorrow. Nay, dry your eyes. One of our convent and his confessor gives me this instance. Already he hath delivered notice to Aeschylus and Angelo, who do prepare to meet him at the gate, there to give up their power. If you shall show your wisdom in that good path I would wish to go, and have your bosom on the wretch, grace if the Duke revenges your heart in general honor.
I am directed by you.
This letter then to Friar Peter give. 'Tis that he sent me of the Duke's return. Say, by this token, I desire him to meet me at Mariana's house tonight. Her cause and yours, I'll perfect him withal, and he shall bring you before the Duke, and to the head of Angelo, accuse him home and home. For my poor self, I'm confined by a sacred vow, and shall be absent. Wend you with this letter. Command those fretting waters from your eyes with a light heart. Trust not my holy order if it perverts your course.
Good
Who's
even.
here?
Friar, where's the provost?
Not within, sir.
Oh, pretty Isabel. I am pale at mine own heart to see thine eyes so red. Thou must be patient. I am fain to dine with sup and water and bran. I dare not for my head fill my belly, one fruitful meal would bring me to it. But they say the Duke will be here tomorrow. By my troth, Isabel, I love thy brother. If the old fantastical Duke of Dark Corners had been at home, he had lived.
Sir, the Duke is marvelous in your little beholdings. But the marvelous in your little beholdings of reports, but the best is he lives not in them.
Friar, thou knowest not the Duke as well as I do. He's a better woodsman than thou takest him for.
Well, you'll answer this one day. Fare you well.
Nay, tarry. I'll go along with thee. I'll tell thee pretty tales of the Duke.
Oh, you have told me too many of him already, sir. If they be true. If not true, none were enough.
I was once before him for getting a wench with child.
Did you such a thing?
Yes, marry did I. But I was fain to forswear it. They else would have married me to the rotten meddler.
Sir, your company is fairer than honest. Rest you well.
By my troth, I'll go with thee to Lane's Inn. If bawdy talk offends you, we'll have very little of it. Nay, friar, I am a kind of burr. I shall stick.
Every letter he hath writ hath espoused other.
In most uneven and distracted manner, his actions show much light of madness. Pray heaven his wisdom be not tainted. And why meet him in the streets and redeliver our authorities there?
I guess not.
And why proclaim it an hour before his entering, that if any crave redress of injustice, they should exhibit their petitions in the street?
He shows his reason for that. Have a dispatch of complaints, and deliver us from devices hereafter, shall then have no power to stand against us.
Well, I beseech you, let it be proclaimed at times in the morn. I'll call you at your house. Give notice such men of sword and suit as are to meet him.
I shall, sir.
Good night. His deed unshapes me quite. Makes me unpregnant and dull to all proceedings. A deflowered maid, and by an eminent body, that enforce the law against it. But that her tender shame will not proclaim against her maiden loss, how might she tongue me? Yet reason dares her no. For my authority bears so credent bulk that no particular scandal once can touch, but rather confound the breather. He should have lived. Save that riotous youth, with a dangerous sense, might in the time comes obtain revenge by so receiving a dishonored life. Would yet he had lived. Alack, when once our grace we have forgot, nothing goes right. We would, and we would not.
These letters at fit time deliver me. The provost knows our purpose and our cause. The matter being afoot, keep your instruction, and hold you ever fair to our special drift, as sometimes you do blench from this and that, as cause doth minister. Go to Flavilus's house, and tell him where I stay. Give the like notice to Valentius, Roland, and to Cratius, and bid them bring the trumpets to the gate. But send me Flavilus first.
It shall be speeded well.
I thank thee. Thou hast made good haste. There's more of our friends that will greet us here anon.
To speak indirectly I am loath. I would say the truth, but to accuse him so, that is your part. Yet I am advised to do what he says to veil full purpose.
Be ruled by him.
Besides, he tells me that, if peradventure he speak against me on the adverse side, I should not think it strange. 'Tis a physic that's bitter to sweet end.
I would, Friar Peter.
Oh, peace. The friars come.
Come, I have found you out a stand most fit, where you may have such vantage on the Duke, he shall not pass you. Twice the trumpets have sounded. The gravest and generous of citizens have hent the gates, and very near upon the Duke is entering. Therefore, hence, away.
My very worthy cousin, fairly met. Our old and faithful friend, we are glad to see you.
Happy return be to your royal grace.
Many and hearty thankings to you both. We have made inquiry of you, and we hear such goodness of your justice that our soul cannot but yield you forth to public thanks, for running more requital.
You make my bonds still greater.
Oh, your desert speaks loud, and I should wrong it to lock it in the wards of covered bosom when it deserves with characters of brass afforded residence against the tooth of time and razor of oblivion. Give me your hand, and let the subjects see, to let them know that outward courtesies would fain proclaim favors that keep within. Come, Aeschylus, you must walk by us on our other hand, and good supporters are you.
Now is your time. Speak loud and kneel before him.
Justice, O royal Duke! Veil your regard upon a wronged, I would fain have said and made. O worthy prince, dishonor not your eye by throwing it on any other object, till you have heard me in my true complaint, and given me justice. Justice, justice, justice.
Relate your wrongs. In what, by whom, be brief. Here is Lord Angelo shall give you justice. Reveal yourself to him.
O worthy Duke, you bid me seek redemption of the devil. Hear me yourself, for that which I must speak must either punish me, not being believed, or wring redress from you. Hear me, oh hear me here.
My lord, her wits I fear me are not firm. She hath been a suitor to me for her brother, cut off by course of justice.
By course of justice?
And she will speak most bitterly and strange.
Most strange, but yet most truly will I speak. That Angelo's forsworn, is it not strange? That Angelo's a murderer is not strange. That Angelo is an adulterous thief, an hypocrite, a virgin violator, is it not strange and strange?
Nay, it is 10 times strange.
It is not truer he is Angelo, then this is all as true as it is strange. Nay, it is 10 times true, for truth is true to the end of reckoning.
Away with her, poor soul. She speaks this in the infirmity of sense.
O prince, I conjure thee, as thou believest there is another comfort than this world, that thou neglect me not with that opinion that I am touched with madness. Make not impossible that which but seems unlike. 'Tis not impossible but one. The wickedest caitiff on the ground may seem as shy, as grave, as just, as absolute as Angelo. Even so may Angelo in all his dressings, characters, titles, forms be an arch villain. Believe it, royal prince, if he be less, he's nothing. But he's more, had I more name for badness.
By mine honesty, if she be mad, as I believe no other, her madness hath the oddest frame of sense. Such a dependency of thing on thing as e'er I heard in madness.
Gracious Duke, harp not on that, nor do not banish reason for inequality. But let your reason serve to make the truth appear where it seems hid, and hide the false seems true.
Many that are not mad sure have more lack of reason. What would you say?
I am the sister of one Claudio, condemned upon the act of fornication to lose his head, condemned by Angelo. I, in probation of a sisterhood, was sent to by my brother, one Lucio as the messenger.
That's I, and it like your grace. I came to her from Claudio, and desired her to try her grace's fortune with Lord Angelo for her poor brother's pardon.
That's he indeed.
You were not bid to speak.
No, my good lord, nor wish to hold my peace.
I wish you now then. Pray you take note of it. And when you have a business for yourself, pray heaven you then be perfect.
I warrant your honor.
The warrant's for yourself. Take heed to it.
This gentleman told somewhat of my tale.
Right. May be right, but you are in the wrong to speak before your time. Proceed.
I went to this pernicious caitiff deputy.
That's somewhat madly spoken.
Pardon it. The phrase is to the matter.
Mend it again. The matter. Proceed.
In brief, to set the needless process by. How I persuaded, how I prayed and kneeled till he repelled me, and how I replied, for this was of much length. The vile conclusion I now begin with grief and shame to utter. He would not, but by gift of my chaste body to his concupiscible and temperate lust, release my brother. And after much debatement, my sisterly remorse confutes mine honor, and I did yield to him. But the next morn betimes his purpose surfeiting, he sends a warrant for my poor brother's head.
This is most likely.
Oh, that it were as like as it is true.
By heaven, fond wretch, thou knowst not what thou speakst, or else thou art burned against his honor and hateful practice. First, his integrity stands without blemish. Next, it imports with no reason that with such vehemency he would pursue faults proper to himself. If he had offended, he would have weighed thy brother and not have cut him off. Someone hath set you on. Confess the truth, and say by whose advice thou camest here to complain.
And is this all? Then, oh, you blessed ministers above, keep me in patience, and with ripened time unfold the evil which is here wrapped up in countenance. Heaven shield your grace from woe, as I, thus wronged, hence unbelieved go.
I know you'd fain be gone. An officer, to prison with her. Shall we thus permit a blasting and a scandalous breath to fall on him so near us? This needs must be a practice. Who knew of your intent in coming hither?
One that I would were here, Friar Lodwick.
A ghostly father belike. Who knows that, Lodowick?
My lord, I know him. 'Tis a meddling friar. I do not like the man. Had he been laid for certain words he spoke against your grace and your retirement, I had swinged him soundly.
Words against me? This a good friar belike, and to set on this wretched woman here against our substitutes. Let this friar be found.
But yesternight, my lord, she and that friar, I saw them at the prison. A saucy friar, a very scurvy fellow.
Blessed be your royal grace. I've stood by, my lord, and I have heard your royal ear abused. First, hath this woman most wrongfully accused your substitute, who is as free from touch or soil with her as she from one ungot.
We did believe no less. Know you that Friar Lodowick that she speaks of?
I know him for a man divine and holy, not scurvy nor temporary meddler, as is reported by this gentleman. And my trust, a man that never yet did, as he vouches, misreport your grace.
My lord most villainously believe it.
Well, he in time may come to clear himself. But at this instant he's sick, my lord, of a strange fever. Upon his mere request, being come to knowledge that there was complaint intended against Lord Angelo, came I hither to speak, as from his mouth, what he doth know is true and false. And what he with his oath, all probation will make up full clear whensoever he's convented. First, for this woman, to justify this worthy nobleman so vulgarly and personally accused, her shall you hear disprove to her eyes, till she herself confess it.
Friar, let's hear it. Do you not smile at this, Lord Angelo? Oh, heaven, the vanity of wretched fools. Give us some seats. Come, cousin, in this I'll be impartial. Be you the judge of your own cause. Is this the witness, friar? First, let her show her face and after speak.
Pardon, my lord. I will not show my face until my husband bids me.
What, are you married?
No, my lord.
Are you a maid?
No, my lord.
A widow, then?
Neither, my lord.
Why, you are nothing, then. Neither maid, widow, nor wife.
She may be a punk, my lord. For many of them are neither maid, widow, nor wife.
Silence that fellow! I would he had some cause to prattle for himself.
Well, my lord.
My lord, I do confess, I ne'er was married. And I confess beside, I am no maid. I have known my husband, yet my husband knows not the ever he knew me.
Then he was drunk then, my lord. It can be no better.
For the benefit of silence, would thou wert so too.
Well, my lord.
This is no witness for Lord Angelo.
Now I come to it. My lord, she that accused him of fornication in self-same matter doth accuse my husband, and charges him, my lord, for such a time when I was supposed I had him in my arms with all the effects of love.
Charges she more than me?
Not that I know.
No, you say your husband.
Why, just, my lord, and that is Angelo, who thinks he knows that ne'er knew my body, but knows he thinks he knows Isabel's.
This is a strange abuse. Let's see thy face.
My husband bids me, now will unmask. This is that face, thou cruel Angelo, with which once thou sworest was worth the looking on. This is the hand which with thou contract was fast be locked in thine. This is the body that took away the match from Isabel, and did supply thee at thy garden house in her imagined person.
Know you this woman?
Carnally, she says.
Sirrah, no more.
Enough, my lord.
My lord, I must confess I know this woman. And 5 years since there was some speech of marriage betwixt myself and her, which was broke off, partly for that her promised proportions came short of composition, but in chief for that her reputation was disvalued in levity, since which time of 5 years I have not spake with her, saw her, nor heard from her, upon my faith and honor.
Noble prince, as there comes light from heaven and words from breath, as there incensed in truth and virtue, I'm affianced this man's wife, as strongly as words can make up vows. And my good lord, but Tuesday night last gone, in's garden house, he knew me as a wife. As this is true, let me in safety raise me from my knees, or else forever become fixed here a marble monument.
I did but smile till now. Now, good my lord, give me the scope of justice. My patience here is touched. I do perceive these poor and formal women are more instruments to some more mightier member that sets them on. Let me have way, my lord, to find this practice out.
Aye, with my heart, and punish them to your height of pleasure. Thou foolish friar, and thou pernicious women, compact with her that's gone. Think'st thou thy oaths, though they were sworn to each particular saint, were testimonies against his worth and credit that's sealed in approbation? Come, Lord Aeschylus, sit with my cousin. Lend him your kind pains to find out this abuse, whence 'tis derived. There is another friar that set them on. Let him be sent for.
Well, you were here, my lord, for he indeed hath set the woman on to this complaint. Your provost knows the place where he abides, and he may fetch him.
Quick, dispatch it presently. And you, my well-warranted cousin, whom it concerns to hear this matter for, do with your injuries as best you seem in any chastening. I for a while will leave you, but stir not you till you have well determined upon these slanders.
My lord, we'll do it thoroughly. Senor Lucio, did not you say you knew that Friar Lodowick to be a dishonest person?
Cocculus non facit monachum. Honest in nothing but in his clothes, and one that hath spoke most villainous speeches of the Duke.
We shall entreat you to abide here till he come, and enforce them against him. We shall find this friar a notable fellow.
As any in Vienna, on my word.
Call forth that same Isabel here once again. I would speak with her. I pray you, my lord, give me leave to question. You shall see how I'll handle her.
Not better than he by her own report.
Say you?
Marry, sir. I think if you handled her privately, she would sooner confess. Perchance publicly, she might be ashamed.
I will go darkly to work with her.
That's the way, for women are light at midnight.
Come now, mistress. Here's a gentlewoman denies all that you have said.
Here comes the rascal, here with the provost.
In very good time. Speak not you till him till we call upon you.
Mum.
Come, sir. Did you set these women on to slander Lord Angelo? They have confessed you did.
'Tis false.
How? Know you where you are?
Respect to your great place, and let the devil be sometime honored for his burning throne. Where is the Duke? 'Tis he should hear me speak.
The Duke's in us. We shall hear you speak. Look, you speak justly.
Boldly at least. But, oh poor souls, come you to seek the lamb of the fox? Good night to your redress. Is the Duke gone? Then is your cause gone too. The Duke's unjust thus to retort his manifest appeal and put the trial in the villain's mouth which here you come to accuse.
This is the rascal. This is he I spoke of.
Why, thou unreverend and unhallowed friar, is it not enough thou suborn these women to accuse this worthy gentleman, but in foul mouth and witness of his proper ear to call him villain, and then to glance from him to the Duke himself, to tax him with injustice? Way hence, to the rack with him. We'll toust you joint by joint, but we'll know his purpose. What? Unjust.
Be not so hot. The Duke dare no more stretch this finger of mine than he dare rack his own. His subject am I not, nor here provincial. My business in the state made me a looker-on here in Vienna, where I have seen corruption boil and bubble till it o'errun the stew. Laws for all faults, but faults so continuance that the strong statutes stand like the forfeits in a barber's shop, as much in mock as mark.
Slander to the state! Away with him to prison!
What can you vouchsafe against him, Signor Lucio? Is this the man you did tell us of?
'Tis he, my lord. Come hither, Goodman Baldpate. Do you know me?
I remember you, sir, by the sound of your voice. I met you in the prison, in the absence of the Duke.
Oh, did you so, sir? And do you remember what you said of the Duke?
Most notedly, sir.
Oh, do you so, sir? And was the Duke a fleshmonger, a fool, and a coward, as you then reported him to be?
You, sir, must change persons with me ere you make that my report. You indeed so spoke of him, and much more, much worse.
Oh, thou damnable fellow! Did I not pluck thee by the noses for thy speeches?
I protest. I love the Duke as I love myself.
Hark how the villain closes after his treasonable abuses.
It's not a fellow we talked of all. Away with him to prison. Where is the provost? Away with him to prison. Lay bolts enough upon him. Let him speak no more. And away with the giglets too. And of the other, Confederate companion.
Stay, sir. Stay a while.
What? Resist he? Help him, Lucio.
Come, sir! Come, sir! Come, sir! Foe, sir! You will be hooded, wilt you? Show your knave's visage and a pox to you. Show your sheep-biting face and be hanged an hour. Wilt not off?
Thou art the first knave that are mates the Duke. First provost, bail these gentle three. Sneak not away, sir. The friar and you shall have a word anon. Lay hold on him.
This may prove worse than hanging.
What you have spoke, I pardon. Sit you down. We'll borrow place of him. Sir, by your leave. Hast thou a word, or a wit, or an pundits that shall do the office? If thou hast, rely upon it until my story be heard, and hold no longer out.
Oh, my dread lord. I should be guiltier than my guiltiness to think I can be undiscernible when I do perceive your grace, like power divine, hath looked upon my passes. Then, good prince, no longer session hold upon my shame, but let my trial be mine own confession. Immediate sentence, then sequent death, is all the grace I beg.
Come hither, Mariana. Say, wast thou ever contracted to this woman?
I was, my lord.
Go, take her hence, and marry her instantly. Do you thee the friar office, do the office, friar, which consummate, return him here again. Go with them, provost.
My lord, I'm more amazed at his dishonor than at the strangeness of it.
Come hither, Isabel. Your friar is now your prince. As I was then, advertising and wholly to your business, not changing heart with habit. I am attorneyed at your service.
Give me pardon, that I, your vassal, have employed in paying your unknown sovereignty.
You are pardoned, Isabel. And now, dear maid, be you as free to us. Your brother's death, I know, sits at your heart, and you may marvel why I obscured myself, laboring to save his life, and would not make rash remonstrance of my hidden power than let him so be lost. Oh, most kind maid, it was the swift celerity of his death which made me think what slower foot came on that brained my purpose. But peace be with him. But life is better life, past fearing death and that which lives to fear. Make it your comfort. So happy is your brother.
I do, my lord.
For this new married man approaching here, whose salt imagination hath wronged your well-defended honor, you must pardon for Mariana's sake. But, as he adjudged your brother, being criminal in double violation of sacred chastity and of promise breach thereon dependent, the very mercy of the law cries out most audible, even for his proper tongue. An Angelo for Claudio, death for death. Haste still pays haste, and leisure answers leisure. Like doth quit like, and measure still for measure. Then, Angelo, thy faults thus manifested, which thee would deny, denies thee vantage. We do condemn thee to the very block where Claudio stooped to death, and with like haste. Away with him!
Oh, my most gracious lord, I hope you not mock me with a husband.
It is your husband who mocked you with a husband. Consenting to the safeguard of your honor, I thought your marriage fit, else imputation for what he knew you might reproach your life and choke your good to come. For his possessions, though by confiscation they are ours, we do instate and widow you withal, to buy you a better husband.
Oh, my dear lord, I crave no other, nor no better man.
Never crave him. We are definitive.
Gentle, my liege.
You do but lose your labor. Away with him to death. Now, sir, to you.
Oh, my good lord. Sweet Isabel, take my part. Lend me your knees in all my life to come. I will lend you all my life to do you service.
Against all sense, you do importune her. Should she kneel down to the mercy of this fact, her brother's ghost his paved bed would break, and take her hence in horror.
Isabel, sweet Isabel, do ye but kneel by me? Hold up your hand, say nothing, I'll speak all. They say best men are molded our faults, and for the most part become much more the better for being a little bad. So may my husband. Oh, Isabel, will you not lend a knee?
He dies for Claudio's death.
Most bounteous sir, look, if it please you, on this man condemned as if my brother lived. I partly think that due sincerity governed his deeds, till he did look on me. Since it is so, let him not die. My brother had but justice in that he did the thing for which he died. For Angelo, his act did not overtake his bad intent, and must be buried but as an intent that perished by the way. Thoughts are no subjects, intents but merely thoughts.
Merely, my lord.
Your suit's unprofitable. Stand up, I say. I have bethought me of another fault. Provost, how came it that Claudio was beheaded at an unusual hour?
It was commanded so.
Had you a special warrant for the deed?
No, my good lord, it was by private message.
For the which I do discharge you of your office. Give up your keys.
Pardon me, noble lord, I thought it was a fault, but knew it not. Yet did repent me after more advice. For testimony whereof, one in the prison, who should by private order else have died, I have reserved alive.
What's he?
His name's Barnardine.
I would thou have done so by Claudio. Go, fetch him hither. Let me look upon him.
I'm sorry. One so learned and so wise as you, Lord Angelo, still have appeared, should so grossly slip, both in the heat of blood and lack of tempered judgment afterward.
I'm sorry for the sorrow I now procure. It sticks deep in my penitent heart that I crave death more willingly than mercy. It is my deserving, and I do entreat it.
Which is that Barnardine?
This, my lord.
There's a friar told me of this man. Sirrah, I was said to have a stubborn soul, that apprehends no further than this world, and swearst thy life according. Thou art condemned. But for these earthly faults I do quit them all, and pray you take this mercy to provide for better times to come. Friar, advise him. I leave him to your hands. But what muffled fellow's that?
This is another prisoner that I saved. One who should have lost his head when Claudio died. As like to Claudio, almost as himself.
If he be like your brother, then for his sake is he pardoned. And for your lovely sake, give me your hand and say you will be mine. For he is my brother too. But fitter time for that. By this Lord Angelo perceives he's safe. He thinks I see a quickening in his eye. Well, Angelo, Your evil quits you well. Look that you love your wife, her worth yours. I find aftermission in myself. And yet here's one in place I cannot pardon. You, sirrah, that knew me for a fool, a coward, one all of luxury, an ass, a madman. Wherein have I so deserved of you that you extol me thus?
Faith, my lord, I spoke it but according to the trick. If you will hang me, you may. But I would rather it would please you, I might be whipped.
Oh, whipped first, sir, and hanged after. Proclaim it, provost, round about this city. Is there a woman wronged by this lewd fellow? For I have heard him swear to himself there's one he begot with child. Let her appear, and he shall marry her. The nuptial finished, let him be whipped and hanged.
I beseech your highness, do not marry me to a whore. You said so even now. I made you a duke. Do not recompense in making me a cuckold.
By the vow of mine order, thou shalt marry her. Thy slanders I forgive, and therewithal remit thy other forfeits. Away with him to prison, and see our pleasure herein executed.
My lord, marrying a punk is pressing to death, whipping and hanging.
Slandering a prince deserves it. She, Claudio, who you wronged, look you restore. Joy to you, Mariana. Love her, Angelo. I have confessed her, and I know her virtue. Thanks, my good friend Aeschylus, for your much goodness. There is more behind that is more gratulate. Thanks, Provost, for your care and secrecy. We shall employ you in a worthier place. Forgive him, Angelo, that brought you the head of Ragozine for Claudio. The offense pardons itself. Dear Isabel, I have a motion that much imports your good. And if you'll a willing ear incline, what's mine is yours, and what is yours is mine. So bring us to our palace, where we shall find what's left behind that's meet you all should know.
Yeah.